Wake up on day one and the decision still feels light, almost fragile. In your mind a clock starts ticking. 30 days. No misses. One promise kept every single day. A habit so consistent it plants itself into the very soil of who you are. Most people will never see that soil. They stop at the surface, harvesting motivation like ripe fruit, then leaving when the season changes. You will not be most people. Not in the next 30 days. Not ever again. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Persistence is to the character of man what carbon is to steel. 30 days is the furnace. No skip is the heat. Steel is what comes out the other side." But before the furnace glows, you need to understand the rules of this experiment. They are simple, yet uncompromising. First rule, choose one habit, and one only. Make it small enough to survive a storm yet big enough to matter. 10 push-ups. 1 page written. 5 calming breaths. Whatever you decide, lock it in. Second rule, zero negotiation. There is no later slot on the schedule. There is no, "I will double tomorrow." If the clock strikes midnight and the habit is undone, the chain resets to zero. That is the price of transformation, the toll paid to cross an invisible bridge from wishing to becoming. Third rule, daily proof beats daily perfection. You are here to prove you can show up, not to perform miracles. If life slams you to the floor, do a single push-up. If your voice is tired, whisper one line. The only unacceptable result is silence. Hill warned us, "The majority of men meet with failure because of their lack of persistence in creating new plans to take the place of those which fail." The no-skip challenge is the antidote to that fate. It removes the luxury of delay, forcing creativity in the service of continuity. Picture day 11, when the glow of novelty fades. You will reach for an excuse the way a drowning man reaches for driftwood. Your mind will offer fine-sounding bargains. You deserve a break. No one will know. These 30 days are arbitrary anyway. Remember this moment now, while your resolve is unwrinkled. Because on day 11, day 17, day 24, you will need to speak to yourself from the strength of today. Write a sentence, "I finish what I start." Place it where your eyes will trip over it. On the mirror. On the lock screen. Inside your shoe. Every glance will be a spark. Every spark will be a reminder that the clock is still running and your word still matters. And what of reward? It comes quietly. Not as fireworks, but as a deepening voice that says, "This is who I am." The first time you feel that voice you will realize why almost no one keeps it alive. It requires a daily investment of stubbornness paid in advance. Yet the return is priceless. Imagine greeting month's end carrying unbroken proof of discipline. You will not need to argue with self-doubt, evidence will speak louder than doubt ever could. You will hold a streak like a sword, light yet sharp, cutting through the old stories of "I never stick with anything." So, before the clock moves another minute, declare your habit. Say it aloud. Write it down. Tell someone who can echo it back when you forget. 30 sunsets from now, you will look in the mirror and meet a different pair of eyes. Eyes that have seen themselves keep a promise 30 times in a row. Eyes that understand momentum not as theory, but as blood. Hill reminds us, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. For the next 30 days, belief will not float in the air. It will stand on the solid ground of daily action. This is day 1. This is the moment the furnace doors close. Feel the heat rise, not with fear, but with anticipation. Because when 30 days are done, steel walks out. And steel does not quit. Yesterday was decision. Today is design. A promise without a plan is a seed thrown on stone. If you expect it to grow, you must give it earth, water, and an exact spot in the sun. Napoleon Hill warned, "Every man who wins in any undertaking must be willing to burn his ships and cut all sources of retreat." A plan is how you set fire to the ships. A plan is how you leave no harbor to sail back to. 1. Pick the minute. Not morning. not evening. A minute. Look at the clock right now. Choose the precise 60-second window your habit will ignite every day. 0627, 1305, 2244. Write it down. Set an alarm named No Skip. Not reminder, not to do, but a siren that echoes your vow. Why so exact? Because ambiguity is the cousin of excuse. When the brain hears sometime, it smells escape. When it hears 0627, it feels a door click shut. 2. Pick the place. A habit needs a stage. Your stage can be a single tile on the kitchen floor, a corner of a couch, the stair outside your door. Name it. The blue mat beside the bed. The left side of the balcony rail. The second step on the staircase. Napoleon Hill said, "The subconscious mind becomes the link between the finite mind of man and infinite intelligence. Location is the portal to that link. Step there and the mind knows, performance begins." 3. Clear the first meter. Look 1 meter around that stage. Remove everything unrelated to the habit. If it is writing, only the notebook and pen remain. If it is push-ups, only floor space and the smell of resolve. Silence the phone, or better, exile it to another room. Each item removed is friction dragged off the track. Friction is the sand that stops the wheel. Your job is to flood the axle with clarity. 4. Install the micro-trigger. Attach a tiny ritual that fires 1 second before the habit. Snap your fingers. Tap the notebook twice. Breathe in for 4 counts. That micro-trigger is a neural handshake. A signal to the subconscious, showtime. After 30 repetitions, the brain will perform it without thought, the way it blinks or swallows. 5. Draft the failure play. Paradox, planning for failure prevents it. Write a single-sentence rescue script. If I miss the 0627 window, I perform the habit immediately upon noticing, then add 1 gratitude line to my journal. Notice action penalty that strengthens, never punishes. Hill taught, every adversity carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Your rescue script turns a stumble into a deeper root. 6. Public declaration. Fear thrives in private. Courage multiplies in daylight. Send 1 message right now. 30-day no skip starts today. Hold me to it. Not a plea for praise, but a contract witnessed. A silent timer enters another mind, their memory will echo on the days yours falters. 7. Visual contract. Take a blank sheet. Draw 30 empty boxes. Mark today's date above the first. Tape it where your eyes cannot avoid it. Bathroom mirror, fridge door, laptop lid. Each X you ink is a small funeral for the quitter you once were. Each blank square ahead is invitation, not threat, space awaiting triumph. 8. Ceremony of day 1. When the minute strikes, step on the stage. Perform the micro-trigger. Do the habit. Exhale. Smile, yes, smile, because celebration cements memory. Whisper, chain forged. Hill reminded us, faith is a state of mind which may be induced by autosuggestion. That whisper is autosuggestion. That smile is faith. Tonight, as you set your alarm, notice the hush that follows certainty. You no longer wonder if the habit will happen, only how soon the next box turns to ink. Design is destiny in blueprint form. Tomorrow the furnace burns hotter, but the rails are laid. The train cannot wander, it can only go forward. Steel is taking shape. Day 3 tastes different from day 1. The spark of novelty has cooled, and the habit stands exposed in ordinary light. This is where most challenges wither, not with disaster but with dullness. Your mission for the next 7 days is to turn dullness into fuel. Napoleon Hill wrote, patience, persistence, and perspiration make an unbeatable combination for success. Week 1 is where those 3 words meet in practice. 1. Recognize the energy dip. Your brain is designed to chase excitement and conserve effort. When excitement fades, effort feels heavier. Do not take this heaviness as a sign that something is wrong. Take it as proof that growth has begun. The muscle only strengthens when weight pushes back. Write a note to yourself. The dip is data, not drama. 2. Activate the momentum loop. Momentum is motion plus meaning. You already have motion, the daily act. Now add meaning every time you finish. Immediately after each repetition. Say out loud one sentence that names the benefit you just created. I kept my word. B. Mark the next box on your visual contract. C. Take a deliberate breath while looking at the growing chain. These 3 steps take 60 seconds, yet they lock the session into memory. The body moved, the mind understood, the heart approved. 3. Turn micro wins into macro pride. At the end of each day, write a single line that begins with, "Because I did my habit today." Finish the sentence with any positive ripple, no matter how small. Because I did my habit today. I felt sharper in the meeting. Because I did my habit today. I chose tea over soda. 7 lines by the end of week 1 form a paragraph of evidence. Read it aloud on the morning of day 8. You will hear the sound of identity under construction. 4. Recruit the 2-minute rule. Some days the clock will sneak past your selected minute. Fatigue will perch on your shoulders and whisper compromise. Answer with the 2-minute rule. Promise yourself you will start the habit for 2 minutes, no matter how you feel. If you wish, you may stop after 2 minutes, but only after beginning. 99 times out of 100 the act of starting will unlock the will to finish. On the rare day it does not, you still kept the chain alive. Hill reminded us, the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. Doing more begins with beginning at all. 5. Celebrate the first Friday. On day 5, host a 5-minute victory check. Step 1. Review the boxes you have marked. Step 2. Write down one quality you like in yourself that was invisible a week ago. Step 3. Share a 1-sentence progress update with the person who witnessed your public declaration. This ritual is not vanity. It is gratitude, and gratitude magnifies resolve. 6. Guard the gateway hours. Morning and night frame every day. Protect them as if they are bank vault doors. Place your habit either in the first 90 minutes after waking or the last 90 before sleep. These hours carry fewer surprises and grant stronger imprint on memory. If life forces a different slot, prepare that slot the night before. Set out the journal, lay down the mat, preload the document. Waking to ready tools removes one more excuse. 7. Build the Hill quote wall. Choose 3 lines from Napoleon Hill that ignite you. Write each on a separate card. Tape one near your habit stage, one on your mirror, one beside your visual contract. When the mind forgets why, the eyes will remember. Week 1 reflection prompt. At sunset on day 7, answer 4 questions in your journal. What surprised me about my own consistency? Which minute was the hardest and how did I overcome it? What physical or mental shift can I already feel? What is my single intention for week 2? Close the journal, smile, mark the 7th box, and speak the intention aloud. Volume is not required, conviction is. You have crossed 7 bridges of commitment. Momentum now rolls behind you like a quiet river, carrying tomorrow closer before you lift a finger. Hill said, victory is always possible for the person who refuses to stop fighting. Week 1 was your opening battle. Week 2 is where endurance turns into character. The furnace remains hot. Steel is hardening. Keep the flame. You stand at the gate of week 2. The chain is unbroken, yet the thrill has flattened. The habit feels less like a challenge, more like brushing your teeth, simple, necessary, a little dull. This is the plateau, the middle desert where enthusiasm evaporates and many travelers turn back. Your task is not only to cross it but to claim strength from its emptiness. Napoleon Hill warned, most great people have attained their greatest success just one step beyond their greatest failure. Failure often arrives disguised as sameness. Conquer sameness and success moves one step closer. 1. Shift from count to craft. During week 1 you counted boxes. During week 2 you refine craft. If your habit is writing one paragraph, polish a single sentence for rhythm. If your habit is 10 push-ups, perfect elbow angle and breathing. Quality sharpens attention, attention defeats boredom. Write this reminder on your quote wall. Refine, do not merely repeat. 2. Install the midway mirror. On day 10, take 5 minutes to read the first page of your journal and the most recent page side by side. Circle any evidence of growth, word flow, mood notes, energy levels. The plateau feels flat only when you forget the climb you have already made. 3. Introduce the 2% tweak. Plateaus break when effort increases slightly, never wildly. Choose one dimension of your habit and raise it by 2%. Write 11 push-ups instead of 10. Read 1 page in 2 paragraphs. Add 1 extra breath to the meditation. Small enough to keep the no-skip promise, large enough for your mind to notice fresh challenge. Hill said, "Effort only fully releases its reward after a person refuses to quit." 2% is refusal made practical. 4. Anchor energy with the reset breath. Mid-afternoon fog arrives for almost everyone. When it does, stop, inhale for 4 counts, hold 2, exhale 6. 1 cycle. Repeat twice. This 90-second ritual restores focus and signals the subconscious that discipline still rules the day. Perform it even if your habit slot is evening, momentum spreads backward through the hours. 5. Celebrate day 15 with a silent victory. Halfway deserves recognition without indulgence. As the 15th box turns to ink, sit in silence for 3 minutes. No music, no screen, no applause. Listen to your own breathing and feel what kept promises sound like. Silent pride travels deeper than loud reward. 6. Guard against the plateau traps. 2 shadows lurk here. Autopilot and upgrade fever. Autopilot whispers, "You can do this later." Answer by performing the habit at the exact minute anyway. Precision destroys drift. Upgrade fever urges, add 4 more goals, double the length. Answer by honoring the 2% tweak and nothing more. Expansion without stability topples empires. Keep the empire small, keep the walls strong. 7. Recommit out loud every dawn. Before your first meal, speak the pledge. 30 days, no skip. 10 remain unclaimed. Today belongs to the chain. Hill taught, "A quitter never wins and a winner never quits." Speak like a winner while the sun is low. By dusk you will have proved the words true. Plateau reflection questions for day 14. Where did boredom appear and how did I respond? Which 2% tweak felt natural, which felt forced? What unexpected benefits surfaced this week? How will I protect momentum as novelty fades further? Write answers, close the book, rest your pen upon it, a physical seal on the first half of the journey. Beyond the plateau lies week 3, where external voices grow loud and time feels scarce. Yet remember, the furnace still burns, steel still strengthens. Napoleon Hill reminds us, victory is always possible for the person who refuses to stop fighting. You have not stopped. You will not. Tomorrow the chain lengthens, the craft sharpens, and sameness becomes strength. Carry the flame. Week 3 pushes the furnace door wide and lets the world step in. Deadlines knock, invitations stack, screens flash brighter. The chain that once felt private now competes with everything else that wants your eyes. This is where outside noise tests inside commitment. Pass this test and the habit stops living on willpower, it begins living on identity. Napoleon Hill cautioned, "The man who cannot control himself can never control others." Control starts with guarding the minutes you promised yourself. 1. Forecast the distractions. Look at the next 7 days and name each potential thief. Company meeting on Tuesday, birthday dinner on Friday, weekend trip. Write them into your journal under the heading Known Interruptions. A seen thief loses half its power. 2. Preload alternate slots. For every interruption, Assign an emergency habit window hours earlier or later. Flight at dawn on Saturday? Move the habit to airport gate A while waiting to board. Dinner at 19:30 on Friday? Shift the minute to 19:10 in the car before walking in. Flexibility preserves continuity without breaking the no-skip rule. 3. Strengthen with the 5-second launch. When the scheduled minute arrives, act within 5 seconds. Count backward 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, then move. This short countdown cuts off negotiation before it can form a sentence. Hill wrote, "The time will never be just right. So make it right in the first 5 seconds." 4. Build the noise cancel ritual. Immediately after completing the habit, spend 30 silent seconds with eyes closed. Inhale possibility, exhale distraction. This micropause trains the nervous system to pair action with calm rather than chaos. 5. Convert outsiders into guardians. Tell 2 people involved in your busiest events, "I am on a 30-day no-skip challenge. I need 1 minute at X time. Can you watch my back?" Most will admire the resolve and even offer reminders. Now the social world carries your chain instead of cutting it. 6. Deploy the momentum token. Carry a small object in your pocket, a coin, a pebble, a band. Each time you finish the habit, move it to the other pocket. Touch it during the day as a tactile reminder that today's promise is already kept. Physical proof dampens mental doubt. 7. Guard against the hero trap. Success whispers, "You are crushing this." Add 5 more habits. Answer with humility. Stay married to the single target until day 30. Expansion too soon is the enemy dressed as ambition. Hill said, "Self-discipline begins with the mastery of your thoughts. Mastery knows when to stay narrow." 8. Midweek surge session. On day 19 schedule a 10-minute surge. Double the habit just for that session to feel stored potential. Immediately afterward, return to the baseline. The surge proves capacity without raising the daily bar. Week 3 reflection, evening of day 21. Which distraction required the alternate slot and how smoothly did I pivot? How often did the 5-second launch save me from delay? What effect did the momentum token have on daytime mindset? What lesson will I carry into the final stretch? Circle one phrase that captures week 3, tape it beside your quote wall. The chain now holds 21 unbroken links. Steel rings with a deeper tone, strike it and hear confidence echo back. Napoleon Hill reminds us, effort only fully releases its reward after a person refuses to quit. You have refused. 7 more days until reward reveals its full weight. Keep the shield up. Carry the flame forward. Day 22 greets you with unfamiliar calm. The habit no longer shouts for space, it lives in your bones, subtle as pulse. Yet calm can turn to carelessness in a single blink. The last 8 days are not victory laps but finishing sprints. Here you harden the steel, seal the chain, prove beyond question that quitting has no home in you. Napoleon Hill observed, "Most men fail, not because of lack of ability, but because of lack of determination." Determination now stands at your shoulder, sharpen it for one more run. 1. Declare the countdown. Write the numbers 8 through 1 down the margin of your contract sheet. Each morning draw a bold line through the top number while saying aloud, 8 remain, 7 remain, and so on. Counting down focuses urgency, reminding the mind that every day unclaimed is irreplaceable. 2. Install victory visualization. Before starting the habit, close your eyes for 20 seconds. Picture midnight of day 30, the final box inked, the chain gleaming end to end. Feel how certainty settles in the chest. This micro-visual anchors emotion to action, a proven accelerator of follow-through. Hill wrote, "The imagination is literally the workshop wherein are fashioned all plans created by man." A 20-second picture each morning turns imagination into fuel. 3. Engage the morning double check. From day 23 to day 30, review your plan twice every dawn. Once mentally as soon as you wake, once in writing after breakfast. Redundancy beats forgetfulness. 2 reviews slam the door on accidental skips. 4. Recruit accountability echoes. Send a daily one-sentence update to the same partner who witnessed your start. Day 24 complete. No emojis, no explanation, just proof. External acknowledgement adds a final layer of social gravity pulling you to completion. 5. Schedule the wall session. On day 26, set aside 15 uninterrupted minutes. Sit facing your quote wall, your chart, and any notes you have gathered. Read every line aloud. This wall session floods the mind with accumulated evidence, drowning any last whisper of doubt. 6. Beware the success saboteur. As achievement nears, complacency or arrogance may creep in. Complacency says, you have done enough, one miss will not matter. Arrogance says, you are beyond rules, upgrade the goal tonight. Answer both the same way. Return to the baseline. Baseline is sacred until day 30 concludes. Hill cautioned, every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it the seed of an equal or greater benefit. Success can also carry a seed of self-sabotage if pride replaces focus. 7. Install the nightly seal. Last act before sleep, write the following sentence beneath the day's box. I honored myself today. Say it once, smile, close the notebook. This seal sends your subconscious to rest on affirmation, wiring confidence deeper during sleep. 8. Prepare the day 30 ceremony. Design the exact sequence for the final box. Pen choice, location, background music if any, words you will speak. Preparation converts day 30 from a vague hope into a scheduled ritual. The mind now sees completion as imminent fact, not fragile wish. 9. Rehearse the first day after. Odd truth, finishing a long streak can feel like losing a friend. Draft a simple plan for day 31 so momentum has a next step. Whether continuing the same habit or choosing fresh focus, decide now so victory flows into future, not drift. Reflection prompts for day 28. Which tactic rescued me most often in weeks 2 and 3? How does the habit feel inside my body now versus day 1? Where might complacency appear in the final 48 hours? What will day 31 look like at 0700? Answer fully, then read the answers aloud. Hearing your own forecast steals the will for closing efforts. You began with a single promise. 22 days later the promise has become reputation. Each sunrise from now to day 30 shines on an identity already forged. Your only duty is to let it harden untouched. Napoleon Hill reminds us, whatever the mind of man can conceive and believe, it can achieve. You have conceived consistency. You now believe consistency. Achievement stands 8 sunrises away waiting to write itself into your story. Guard the minutes. Honor the baseline. Count down with pride, not pressure. The furnace blazes red, steel is 1 temper from unbreakable. The calendar has thinned to 2 unmarked squares. You can almost feel the final click of the lock, but almost is not enough. Steel that cools too soon warps, discipline that relaxes too early bends. Napoleon Hill warned, nature will tolerate no idleness or vacillation. The last 48 hours are your proof of zero vacillation. 1. The penultimate pledge. On waking day 29, place your fingertips on the unmarked box and say, I finish everything I start. 5 words, full stop. Speak them again at midday and once more before the habit window. Triple pledge, triple focus. 2. Maintain the minute. Resist any urge to celebrate by performing the habit early. Keep the exact scheduled minute. Precision is part of the sculpture. The mind learns that victory is consistency, not impatience disguised as enthusiasm. 3. Engage the spotlight breath. Right before starting, inhale, picture a single point of white light entering your chest. Exhale, picturing it flowing down your arm into the action you are about to perform. This breath ritual converts anticipation into presence, stripping away distraction one last time. 4. Ink the 29th box with deliberate slowness. Do not swipe the pen. Let the tip linger on each stroke. Feel the paper resist, then yield. Savor the tactile reminder that effort leaves tangible marks. 5. Evening reflection, the mirror letter. Write a short note beginning with, "Dear Day 1 me, here is what I learned." Read it aloud in front of a mirror. Watching your own eyes receive the message bonds past intention to present reality. 6. The Day 30 Dawn Protocol. Set the alarm 5 minutes earlier than usual. Wake, stand, whisper. One more. Open the window, breathe morning air, and visualize the ink flowing into the final box. 7. Execute the pre-ceremony quiet hour. During the first waking hour, avoid news, social feeds, and chatter. Protect the mind from external noise so the final act stands alone, unpolluted. 8. Perform the planned ceremony. At the scheduled minute. Trigger the micro-ritual, unchanged since day 1. Complete the habit with exact baseline effort. Pick up the chosen pen. Draw the last X deliberately, silently counting each stroke. Close the pen and place it down as if setting a cornerstone. 9. Speak the closing statement. Aloud, slowly. The promise is kept. The chain is complete. I am a person who finishes. This wording captures fact, completion, and identity in a single breath. 10. Take the victory silence. Sit or stand in stillness for 3 minutes. Eyes open or closed, no music, no device. Let the gravity of 30 uninterrupted days settle into memory. You will feel a blend of pride and calm unlike any quick reward can offer. 11. Announce to the witness. Send the 2-word message to your accountability partner. Chain sealed. Nothing more. Brevity underscores confidence. 12. Preserve the artifact. Date and sign the chart. Optionally frame it, or fold and place it in a journal pocket. Physical evidence outlives fleeting emotion, it will testify for you on future quests. 13. Transition, not termination. In the next waking hour, write a 1-line plan for day 31. Example. At 0627 tomorrow, I repeat the habit to extend my chain or begin a fresh target. Momentum is a wheel, never let it stand idle. 14. Final reflection prompt. Answer 3 questions before sleep. What single quality in me ensured completion? Which tool or ritual rescued me most clearly? How will I apply that quality and tool to the next 30 days? Write without editing. Truth spoken on the day of victory carries unusual clarity. Napoleon Hill closes the chapter. The ladder of success is never crowded at the top. Tonight you stand on a new rung, alone with your proof, yet able to reach a hand down for the next climber. Sleep with the calm of completion, but remember, tomorrow the furnace door can open again, this time to shape something even larger. Steel does not boast, it bears weight. So rest, then rise, then carry more. Day 31 arrives without fanfare. There is no trumpet, no parade, only the tick of the same clock that once threatened your promise. Yet the world is different, because you are different. You carry 30 unbroken days in your pocket like a polished stone, warm from constant handling. Napoleon Hill wrote, "No man can succeed in a line of endeavor which he does not like." The last month has taught you to like persistence itself, to feel pleasure in the click of another link. Now the question moves from completion to continuation. 1. Hold the post-challenge audit. Sit with pen and paper, divide the page into 3 columns. Column 1, Facts. List numerical proof, boxes marked, minutes invested, words written, reps performed. Column 2, Feelings. Record dominant emotions from early struggle to late calm. Column 3, Findings. Write the biggest behavioral truths uncovered. This audit converts memory into data, emotion into insight. Insight, not time, marks true progress. 2. Name your transferable skill. Every chain hides a master skill beneath the visible act. Push-ups taught breath control. Writing taught clarity of thought. Meditation taught emotional spacing. Identify that hidden muscle, circle it on your audit. This is the treasure you now bring to every future project. 3. Decide your fate for the habit. 3 roads lie ahead. A. Maintain, repeat the habit daily to extend the chain. B. Progress, raise baseline by 5 to 10% and begin a fresh 30-day run. C. Repurpose, lock the learned discipline onto a brand new target. Choose consciously, drift is defeat in softer clothing. 4. Craft the next 30-day title. Give the upcoming month a name that excites the subconscious. Examples: Pages and Peace 30. Stamina Spring. Silence Sunrise Series. Naming frames intention, it turns a private resolution into a banner you can rally behind. 5. Reset the visual contract. Create a fresh grid, even if you plan to keep the same habit. New paper signals new story, preventing complacency that clings to old ink. 6. Share the results and the road ahead. Tell the original witness 3 bullet points. Result achieved. Key lesson. Next 30-day focus. When others see evolution, their mirrored belief reflects back and amplifies your own. 7. Install the weekly legacy slot. Reserve 15 minutes each week to reread earlier charts. Past chains remind future self that discipline is repeatable, not mythical. This legacy slot becomes a quiet handshake between versions of you across time. 8. Beware the achievement void. Finishing a goal can breed emptiness where urgency once lived. Fill the gap instantly with new structure. Let no day exist without a box to mark. Momentum and used curdles into stagnation. Hill warned, procrastination is the bad habit of putting off until the day after tomorrow what should have been done the day before yesterday. Do not give tomorrow a vacancy. 9. Amplify impact through teaching. Share a short thread, video, or conversation describing your 30-day process. Teaching metabolizes knowledge, it forces clarity and multiplies accountability. 10. Celebrate by setting service goals. Turn discipline outward. Use the extra strength, time, or calm you earn to assist another person or project. Service cements identity far deeper than self-focus ever can. Reflection prompt for day 31. What surprised me most about myself during the challenge? Which part of the process felt least natural and why did I persist? How will the hidden skill enhance my next endeavor? Who could benefit from my blueprint and how will I deliver it? Write, breathe, smile. Then mark box 1 on the new grid. You began as a sprinter searching for motivation. You crossed deserts of sameness, fought storms of distraction, forged steel from repetition. Now you stand at the threshold of a larger horizon, armed with a transferable engine that will start at the push of a thought. Napoleon Hill reminds us, strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. The 30-day chain was effort, the future is continuous. Pick up the stone of proof from your pocket, feel its warmth, and let it remind you that the furnace lives inside. The world did not change, you did. And because you did, the world soon will. The next grid awaits. Ink it. Live it. Carry the flame forward. The chain you forged is no longer a single link, it is capital mental currency ready to be invested. Steel without purpose merely weighs you down, so you will now direct its strength across new arenas. Napoleon Hill taught, the man who does more than he is paid for will soon be paid for more than he does. Doing more begins with multiplying the habit's logic, not its workload. 1. Identify parallel fields. Write 3 life zones that would benefit from the discipline engine you just refined. Health, learning, finance, relationships, creativity. Circle the one causing the most friction at present. Friction marks hidden opportunity. 2. Clone the framework, not the task. Copy the 4 pillars that secured the 30-day chain. Single focus, fixed minute, visual contract, micro reward. Apply them intact to the new field. Example. Finance field, review expenses for 2 minutes at 19:30 each evening, mark a box, whisper wealth built. Framework fidelity ensures success transfers without diluting power. 3. Stagger start dates. Do not light every rocket at once. Schedule the new chain to begin only after the current maintenance streak reaches 10 extra days. Overlap breeds overwhelm, sequence breeds sustainability. 4. Install a capacity gauge. Before adding any further chains, track daily energy on a 10-point scale for 2 weeks. If average dips below 7, stabilize before expanding. Discipline leverages surplus, deficit invites collapse. 5. Capture synergy moments. Every Friday note one instance where chain A boosted chain B. Morning push-ups raised afternoon focus, expense review curbed impulse shopping. Synergy logs reveal that progress is exponential, not linear, reinforcing motivation to continue layering. 6. Guard against dilution. As chains multiply, temptation to loosen rules will whisper. Answer by auditing each habit's baseline monthly. If consistency drops below 95% on any, suspend new projects until integrity returns. Hill warned, the majority of men are ready to throw their aims and purposes overboard at the first sign of opposition. Opposition often hides inside our own expansion greed. 7. Create a quarterly Keystone Summit. Every 90 days spend 1 silent hour reviewing all active chains. Ask, which delivers the highest life leverage per minute? Which feels stale and needs renewal or retirement? What single upgrade would raise total system output? Write a 1-page summit report, date and sign it. These documents become a chronicle of evolving mastery. 8. Build the accountability circle. Invite 2 disciplined peers to share their own chains in a monthly call. Each person offers a 3-minute update and 1 challenge request. Mutual visibility compounds resolve, your private win turns public inspiration. 9. Codify and teach. Draft a brief guide titled My Chain Method, explaining steps, tools, and mindsets in plain language. Teaching forces precision, precision strengthens execution. Publish or gift the guide, the ripple returns as questions that sharpen your own understanding. 10. Celebrate portfolio milestones. Set markers not just for individual streaks but for total chains maintained. Example, 5 chains at 50 days each earns a quiet morning retreat, a nature walk, a donated book to someone starting out. Portfolio pride acknowledges breadth without feeding ego. Reflection prompt for day 45. Which zone did I choose for my next chain and why? How did the original framework adapt to the new context? What early synergy have I already noticed? What safeguard will prevent dilution as I scale? Write, breathe, and recommit. The steel first tempered in one furnace now shapes many blades, each crafted with the same steady hammer. Napoleon Hill reminds us, success is the development of the power with which to get whatever one wants in life without interfering with the rights of others. Your growing portfolio of habits is that power, quiet, ethical, repeatable. You have learned to mint discipline. Now you distribute that currency where it is most needed, enriching every corner of your life and the lives orbiting yours. Carry the flame into the next forge. You have scaled one habit, then many, proving that discipline can be replicated like code. Yet code needs version control or it fragments. To keep expansion elegant, you will build momentum cycles, quarter-length arcs that repeat the chain logic at larger scale, fusing consistency with seasonal renewal. Napoleon Hill noted, plans are inert and useless without sufficient power to translate them into action. Power, in your hands, is rhythm extended across 12 months without exhausting novelty or attention. 1. Draft the 4-season map. Sketch a simple circle and divide it into 4 equal wedges: spring, summer, autumn, winter. Inside each wedge list 1 keystone focus that matches the natural energy of that season. Spring, learning. Summer, performance. Autumn, systems. Winter, restoration. This pattern prevents monotony. Every 90 days your discipline engine meets a fresh theme, keeping curiosity alive while retaining method integrity. 2. Assign a flagship chain to each season. For every wedge, choose a single flagship habit that drives the season's theme. Spring learning, read 10 pages at 0700. Summer performance, publish 1 piece of work weekly. Autumn systems, review finances nightly at 1930. Winter restoration, meditate 8 minutes before sleep. Chain rules remain, fixed minute, visual contract, micro reward. Because the mechanism never changes, mental bandwidth shifts to content, not process. 3. Install the seasonal reset week. Day 91 through 97 becomes reset week, no flagship chain required beyond maintenance of baseline health habits. Use these 7 days to audit logs, deep clean spaces, and draft the next season's contract. Rest without regression, reflection without hurry. Hill warned, lack of discipline puts one at the mercy of moods and appetites. Reset week disciplines recovery, stopping drift before it starts. 4. Build the annual dashboard. Create a wall calendar showing all 4 seasons with blank grids. When each daily box is marked, highlight it in a color coded to its season. Over time, the wall becomes a mosaic of effort, visual proof that an entire year can be intentional, not accidental. 5. Introduce the seasonal mastery metric. Pick a single metric that embodies success for each wedge and track it weekly. Pages read, words published, dollars invested, hours slept. Weekly review prevents surprise and guides mid-season tweaks. 6. Schedule the Hill Reflection Summit. On the final day of each season, hold a 30-minute Hill Summit. Read one chapter of Think and Grow Rich aloud. Choose a line that resonates with the quarter's journey. Copy it atop the new contract. Old text meets new context, weaving philosophical thread through the practical weave. 7. Guard against seasonal drift. 2 risks appear here: over-celebration after a strong quarter, or fatigue after a hard one. Combat both by committing publicly to the next flagship chain before reset week ends. Public declaration staples future focus to present moment. 8. Layer minor chains carefully. While a flagship drives the season, minor chains may support it, but cap the total at 3. Maintain the 95% consistency rule. If any chain drops below, suspend additions until stability returns. 9. Celebrate the full cycle. At year's end, host a personal ritual. Display every contract, dashboard, and summit note on a table, walk around them slowly, and speak 3 sentences. I honor the discipline behind each mark. I carry forward the lessons, leaving mistakes as teachers, not anchors. A new circle begins tomorrow, brighter and simpler. Document the ritual with 1 photograph, archive it as year 1. This snapshot becomes the first page of a legacy album, evidence that time obeys design. Reflection prompt for cycle planning. Which season holds my natural peak energy and how will I harness it? Where does my motivation traditionally wane, and which restorative habit fits that lull? How will my 4 flagship chains compound to create a single overarching narrative for the year? What systems will alert me if seasonal drift begins before I notice? Right answers: refine the circle, tape it near the dashboard, and schedule reset week on your digital calendar. The single chain that once seemed an Everest has multiplied into an annual constellation, each star set by the same humble compass. Show up, no skip. Napoleon Hill reminds us, whatever you think today becomes what you are tomorrow. By thinking in seasons, you invite tomorrow to arrive organized, vibrant, and under willing command. The flame that warmed one promise now lights quarters, years, eventually decades. You have mastered the mathematics of persistence. Momentum cycles are its geometry, shaping the vast into the manageable, the distant into the daily. Carry the flame through every season, and time itself will testify. Discipline, once lit, can outshine the year. Your single chain has grown into a yearly design, yet power isolated can only reach so far. When one disciplined mind meets many, sparks cross, multiply, and light spaces one voice cannot touch. Week after week you have seen persistence alter your days. Now you will let it alter rooms, teams, families. Napoleon Hill wrote, "Great achievement is usually born of great sacrifice, and is never the result of selfishness. Sacrifice you have shown, now dissolve the last layer of self-containment by sharing method and momentum with others." 1. Create a chain circle. Invite 3 to 6 people who resonate with growth. Explain the rules set in 1 page: single habit, fixed minute, visual contract, micro reward, 30 days, no skip. Set a start date 2 weeks out to allow each member to choose a habit and stage. The circle meets live or online for 15 minutes every 7th day. Agenda, share streak count, 1 struggle, 1 insight, then leave. Brevity protects consistency. 2. Define collective stakes. Pick a modest but meaningful group reward, a donated meal, a small shared outing, or a charitable gift delivered only if every member finishes the chain. Group stake converts individual resolve into protective solidarity. No one wants to be the gap that breaks the circle. 3. Install the daily beacon. Create a private chat with a single rule. Every member posts 1 emoji, word, or number after completing the habit. Silence equals unfinished. Visual roll call leverages peer pressure without shaming. 4. Rotate storytelling duties. Each 7th day meeting, one member spends 2 minutes describing a specific obstacle and exactly how they overcame it. Practical stories feed collective strategy faster than theory. Hill said, "Experience has taught me that no man, however great his mental capacity, may safely neglect the little things. Storysmithing magnifies little things into shared armor." 5. Use the recovery clause. If any member misses, the group invokes the recovery clause. The next day, everyone adds a 2-minute extension to their habit in silent solidarity. Extension prevents quitters from feeling isolated and reinforces the ethos that the circle finishes together. 6. Protect signal-to-noise ratio. Outlaw side chatter in the beacon channel. Only completion pings and necessary support notes. High signal cultivates trust that every ping matters. 7. Celebrate Chain Day 15 publicly. Post a halfway update on a shared social platform or inside the company newsletter, never naming the unbroken streak count, only naming the lessons learned so far. Public midpoint lock-in raises external accountability for the back half. 8. Conduct the Hill hot seat. At the final meeting, place one member in the hot seat to answer 3 questions pulled from Think and Grow Rich. What is your definite chief aim, stated in 1 sentence? How did this chain move you closer? Which fear will you outgrow next? Rotate hot seat in future cycles. Philosophical interrogation deepens motive beyond habit math. 9. Archive the chain ledger. At completion, gather photos of every member's contract and assemble a 1-page ledger, faces, habits, marks, and a single quote per person. Save the ledger in a shared drive titled Chain Circle Year 1. Tangible proof seeds tradition. Tradition carries culture forward. 10. Plan the ripple chain. Challenge each finisher to mentor one newcomer and launch a new circle within 60 days. Every cycle doubles disciplined minds, compounding community impact. Reflection prompt for circle facilitator. Which element of group design drove the highest adherence? How did collective stakes influence individual emotions? What barrier most often triggered the recovery clause? How will the ripple chain improve on the pilot cycle? Write the answers, share them with the circle, invite critique, and draft version 2. What began as a lone promise becomes culture, a living system where discipline migrates from one nervous system to many. Napoleon Hill reminds us, it is literally true that you can succeed best and quickest by helping others to succeed. You are no longer only the keeper of your flame, you are a torchbearer lighting corridors for others. Part 12 will close the journey, uniting personal, seasonal, and community layers into a legacy blueprint. Shall we move on to the final chapter? A single habit that once felt mountainous has now unfolded into community, seasons, and cascading circles of change. Yet every structure, no matter how intricate, serves one final purpose: to shape the story that will outlive its author. This closing chapter is about engraving discipline into the spine of your narrative so it carries forward long after schedules shift and platforms fade. Napoleon Hill wrote, "The world has the habit of making room for the man whose words and actions show that he knows where he is going. Legacy is the clearest declaration of direction. When you craft it with intention, the world not only makes room, it inherits your momentum." 1. Compose the personal credo. Condense everything learned into 5 lines that state who you are, what you believe, and how you move. I honor promises, beginning with those I make to myself. I create small, daily evidence before demanding large results. I design seasons, not whims, circles, not straight lines. I lift others by sharing process, not perfection. I view discipline as a gift, never a burden. Post this credo where future eyes, children, students, teammates, can read it. Words etched in visible places evolve into household myths. 2. Archive the proof portfolio. Gather every chain chart, seasonal dashboard, summit note, and circle ledger. Place them in a single digital folder and mirrored physical binder. Title: Year of No Skip Discipline. Evidence gives inspiration teeth. Someday someone will flip pages and feel a pulse of possibility. 3. Establish the annual torch day. Choose one fixed calendar date when you publicly review the past year and announce the flagship chain for the next. Torch day might include a short live stream, a letter to your circle, or a voice message to family. Tradition cements intention across years the way habit cements action across days. 4. Mentor the next wave. Select one person each quarter to guide through a first 30-day chain. Use the original 4 pillars without shortcuts. Repeat the recovery clause and the Hill hot seat. Teaching passes the torch while sharpening your own blade. 5. Create the discipline trust. Set aside a modest fund or time block dedicated to tools that aid persistence for others, journals, timers, books, coaching calls. Label the account chain trust. Every completed flagship cycle allocates a small contribution. Financial structure makes generosity systematic rather than sporadic. 6. Codify the method in story form. Write a short narrative, parable style, where a character crosses deserts of distraction, climbs plateaus, and lights community fires exactly as you did. Story transmits lessons through emotion, ensuring the blueprint remains engaging for those who resist manuals. 7. Integrate discipline with purpose. Link flagship chains to causes beyond self-improvement. Reading chain feeds a literacy charity. Health chain funds local sports gear. Financial chain supports microloans. Purpose welds discipline to meaning, producing a compound that erosion cannot touch. Hill reminded, "It is one thing to want money, but it is something better to be of value to others." Value born of discipline multiplies far beyond balance sheets. 8. Prepare the succession note. Draft a brief document explaining the logic of momentum cycles, chain circles, and torch day. Store it with your will or passcode manager. Legacy plans ensure that if your voice quiets, your method still speaks. 9. Celebrate quietly, live loudly. Legacy does not brag, it breathes. Mark each year's torch day with a silent morning walk, then return to ordinary tasks powered by extraordinary clarity. Those watching will sense depth without hearing boast. Unspoken credibility magnetizes more than declared mastery. Reflection prompt: the final ledger. Which single habit shifted my identity the most and why? How many people have replicated the chain because I showed the path? In what way has the world around me physically changed because discipline changed me? What one sentence do I hope a future reader copies from my credo? Answer, sign, store with the archive. You started by wondering why you always quit. You finish by knowing exactly why you will not. The chain became a season, the season a year, the year a circle of lives twined by shared resolve. Napoleon Hill leaves us with a final whisper. Strength and growth come only through continuous effort and struggle. You now understand continuous, not as fatigue, but as rhythm, not as grind, but as music scored in steady beats of daily proof. Legacy is not a monument, it is a metronome. Each tick is a kept promise, each swing an invitation for another heart to join the cadence. The flame you carry glows on new wicks at children, peers, strangers yet to meet you, lighting corridors you will never walk yet somehow already grace. Close the binder, breathe once more, and step into the next sunrise. Disciplined. Directed. Unforgettable. And this is where today's journey pauses. But not for long. Because in our next episode we're taking the training wheels off. We're grabbing every just-in-case cushion, every safety net, every comfortable fallback, and setting them on fire. Title: Burn Your Plan B, Go All In for Explosive Growth. Napoleon Hill. If you've ever wondered how much speed, creativity, and power are hiding behind your backup plan. This is the chapter that rips the cover off. No retreat. No excuses. Only forward ignition. So make sure you're here when the match strikes. Subscribe now so you don't miss the spark. Like this video if today's lesson locked something inside you. Comment Plan B to ashes if you're ready to go all in with us next time. Until then, stay steady, stay lit, stay no skip, and get ready to burn the bridge behind you.